talk about some of the issues mentioned on this summit. These billions coming to this continent from anywhere, Europe, Americas, or any other place, you are inviting intervention in your own affairs.
True.
And this money coming from there, billions and billions, will be siphoned back there.
True. When you go beg out, you go beg for money, go beg for aid, it comes to the country, some of these leaders siphon it back, embezzle that money. Man.
If you see me in the streets, better holler at me. Seeking for a beat, throw them dollars at me. I don't like defeat, take that away from me. You tryna be like me, you couldn't handle my story. But we gon' let you know, we gon' let you know. We gon' let you know, we gon' let you know.
Stereotype of everyone coming and making statements, PR statements about achievements wouldn't make any sense. Let's be focused.
Stay focused, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a PR exercise. Ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing, man? It's your boy, Mr. J. Thank you for tuning in and welcome back once again to another episode of Mr. J's Reaction. Now, if you don't know who this is, man, they call me Jay. I'm a Motherlandian and I live in the diaspora. For the past couple of days, I've been dropping vlogs about the plight of the African continent, the plight of my people standing up, the plight of my people waking up and rising to achieve their self-independence, because most of my African countries are still dabbling with puppets, man, monitoring, and the West doing this and that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in that light, man, a fan reached out to me and sent me this video, man, this article of the Eritrean President, man, His Excellency Isaias Afwerki. I hope I pronounced it right. And he is actually giving old schooling to some of these our confused African presidents who just come out to these meetings to talk and not focus on the real issue at hand. So we're gonna talk about that. But before we get into that, I just want to say, if you're not done it, please do help me support the channel, man. Give us that thumbs up, man. Hit that like button, man. Leave a comment, and for $0, man, you can actually be a member of the platform, because I do drop a vlog every day. I made myself the challenge to do that every day henceforth, and I know y'all got my back. So let's back it up and let's talk about this uncle's, this leader's, speech. Let's go.
Making statements, PR statements about achievements wouldn't make any sense. Let's be focused.
True.
Okay. I will not talk about our achievements in agriculture, infrastructure, energy, water, and others. That will take time.
Why do African leaders think that when there is a meeting, it's the time for you to go and talk about your achievements? It's kind of like a schoolboy going up like, Dad, this is what I did. Like trying to make the West know that this is what you're doing. Whereas, in fact, you are actually robbing and stealing from your people. And this leader, man, this president is saying that's not why we are here. We should talk about why we are here, because this is time killing. And he is, man, he sounds like that old grandpa in the village who just comes out once to speak, and he only speaks when the king is around, like that wise person. But you see, these are the type of leaders that the West would castigate and paint black. Let's get back into it, man.
Okay? Now let's be focused. Occasions like this one, summits where people come, do their promotion about their achievements.
I know.
And mostly PR exercise. Let's get out of this cycle.
Let's get out of the cycle, man. This is not an occasion for you to do PR. This is not an occasion for you to tell the other people what you've achieved. This is not it. This is a climate summit. Let's focus on climate and how it's affecting Africa. It's not for you to come and tell us you've achieved this, achieved that. I like him.
Okay? I would like to focus on my own issue. Now people are talking about the resources of the continent. 60% of this endowment, 20% of this endowment. I mean, why can't you mobilize your own resources rather than extend your hands for handouts and charity?
That's all to do. We all know that Africa is blessed with natural resources, so don't come in here and try to tell us this. But they are doing PR so that the world can see, okay, hey, he says they got this resource, let's go in there. And that is indirectly asking for handout, because when you come to a conference like this, rather than focusing on what is at hand, you start doing PR. Like you said, it's like you are marketing your resources. And then when they come in, they're gonna come in with their own conditions, and that's how you end up being in debt, man.
Is there a way of mobilizing these resources in the continent? How do you mobilize these resources?
How?
Can you mobilize the resources of Niger that are going to Europe, uranium, and what have you? What about the mineral resources of this continent? Are you mobilizing these resources for the development of the continent?
That's the question. Are we doing that? Are African leaders mobilizing their resources? Are you using your resources to develop the continent? That is what is more important. We talk about climate issues, climate rising. Are you mobilizing your resources? Let's say, for example, if there is flood, you know about flood in your area. Are you mobilizing your resources? What you have, sell, get this money, build dams, build things that can control flood. Are you doing that? Or you just want to come and tell the world what you've achieved?
For climate change,
it's crazy.
Where are these resources? Everybody is talking about their achievements in their own locality, in their own national borders, without even addressing the real issues challenging this continent.
Good.
Talk about the continent's challenge and try to find solutions for this challenge.
Don't come and do PR, man. He's schooling y'all, man. He's telling them exactly what it's supposed to be. But see, that's what it's been. That's what African leaders have been doing for the past 5 decades, man. That's all they do. Go to African Union. That is all they do.
Okay? We're talking about climate change. We're talking about resources. We are talking about so many things. Don't divert focus on non-issues. Okay? Now, do your homework. Come up with a definition of your goals and objectives. Strategize. Go for detailed plans. And then come to mobilize resources.
Good. Do your homework. They don't do their homeworks. The delegates that some of these African leaders send to some of these meetings, they just go there to make money. Each state budget, fly around, on stage coffers. They don't do that. And then they come and try to, out, man.
So that you implement your programs. Otherwise, I don't want to waste your time and waste my time talking about our achievements in Eritrea.
This man is a smart guy, man. I'm starting to like his no nonsensical guy.
I like to talk about some of the issues mentioned on this summit. These billions coming to this continent from anywhere, Europe, Americas, or any other place, you are inviting intervention in your own affairs.
True.
And this money coming from there, billions and billions, will be siphoned back there.
True. When you go beg out, you go beg for money, go beg for aid, it comes to the country, some of these leaders siphon it back, embezzle that money. Man, I like this president, man. One of my all-time best presidents already. I mean, send me more. The fan who came through, send me more. He is speaking the truth. I now see why they're trying to paint him black.
Make sure that you mobilize your own resources so that you can be enabled to benefit from resources coming from outside.
True.
The promises of billions is not good. Yes.
Promises of billions is not good. They promise you billions, but they taking out more. And then when they give you the resources to do the things that you claim you want to do, you don't do them. Infrastructure-wise, do you know for how many years, take for example my country, do you know for how many years they've taken loans to work on the infrastructure market, the landscape? For too long, and nothing is being done. And then you keep going in debt and you put the lives of future generation at stake.
Again, is the focus that we need to talk about. You're talking about corrupt governments and comparing them with the private sector and promoting the private sector. You put in place accountable governments.
Good.
Non-corrupt government that will use national resources for the development of the majority.
Put accountable government. It's not about private. They are countries that do well in public funds. They are evolving. They are countries that also do well in private funds. But the basic line is this: put accountability, transparency. If you give out a contract for $1 billion to do certain things, ensure that is done. Don't be like some of my Cameroonian politicians who still steal. Embezzle, man. I don't know what is going to take for our African leaders to get this.
It's not a matter of polarizing the private sector and the public sector. These classical arguments about the private sector, the public sector, that makes sense at all.
At all.
It's out of context. We need to be focused on this matter. We can't blame governments and bring non-governmental organizations to manage our affairs.
That's crazy. That's what the West wants. If you look at that non-governmental organizations around Africa, man, that's all they do. They're trying to get involved with governing. That is trying to tell Africans how to govern themselves. That's crazy.
That is phenomenal in Africa. Go everywhere. Non-governmental organizations are managing government and discrediting governments and
that's crazy, man.
Replacing them with what they call private sector. Can you imagine this makes sense to anyone?
No.
Now talk about serious things, okay? You want to implement programs, articulate your goals and objectives in the first place, okay?
That's the thing, that's the reason some of our African politicians don't know how to articulate. They don't know, man. Goals and objectives, they don't know. That's why it ends up being a shit show.
Strategize on how you can achieve these goals and objectives. Then go for detailed plans, sectoral plans or industrial plans.
Good.
And then mobilize resources for that. Give these plans and the resources to reliable hands, accountable hands. Government or private sector, doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter, man. It really doesn't matter. Look at the Chinese. The Chinese economy is booming. You know why? Because it has that public, private, government and private working hand in hand, but they are controlled by the Communist Party. And that is why it is growing at a 3-to-1 ratio as compared to the Western powers and its allies. This man is smart.
It's not a matter of being with or against that party. How do you mobilize these resources to implement programs so that you address climate change?
Good.
Thank you. Yes, focus. Don't get us to some classical discussions about what the private sector can do or the public sector can do. Corrupt governments will not implement any program at all.
Good.
So talk about real government. Yeah.
True. Very, very true, man. Very, very, very true. Ladies and gentlemen, that was His Excellency, man, the President of Eritrea, man, Isaias Afwerki, man. Yo, let me just say this. Let me say this, man. There are leaders who actually understand what is at stake, and they don't like to be told or to be lectured on some classical debate. That is an example. Put programs in the hands of accountable people. But when you are the leader of a country, you take budget, you take program for something, you put it in the hands of some of your criminal crooks, nepotism, tribalism. What happens? They steal money together with you. Look at what happened in Gabon, man. You saw the backs and backs of money that was... Bro, that is the same thing, man. Shout out to this man. Yo, my Eritrean, big up to the fan who reached out to Misterjaay to check this out. Let me know about more of these things. We are going to be reacting to more of these things, because the more we expose these kind of things, man, the more people get to understand exactly why Africa is where it's at today. And of course, we're going to come out with a solution. We're going to find a solution, but we need to let the world know that some of these leaders actually do know exactly what they're doing. That's my time. And do not forget to give us that thumbs up. And of course, I hope you did follow us, because we are dropping vlogs every day. You feel me? I love you guys, man. Africa is rising, man. Let's rise all the way to the top. I'm out of here. Peace.
Creation, reaction, God. Big up TRB family. Misterjaay, I see you. I know some artists don't do this. God bless you and your family.